Physics class 11 chapter 4 motion in a plane. In the last class we have studied projectile motion. Today we shall study uniform circular motion. When an object follows a circular path at a constant speed, the motion of the object is called uniform circular motion. So if an object is moving in a circle with constant speed, then we call that motion as uniform circular motion. In uniform circular motion, speed remains constant, but velocity changes. Velocity at any point is given by the tangent to that point. Now in a circle, the tangent at every point changes its direction. Therefore, velocity in a uniform circular motion changes at every point, but the magnitude remains the same. Suppose an object is moving with uniform speed v in a circle of radius capital R. So now let us assume that there is an object which is moving with uniform speed v in a circle with a radius of R. Since the velocity of object is changing continuously in direction, the object undergoes acceleration. As I already said that in a circular motion, the velocity changes because of the direction. Direction is given by the tangent, and tangent at every point in a circular path is changing its direction. Therefore, velocity is changing in the direction, and change in velocity will give you acceleration. Therefore, we can say that the object undergoes the acceleration. Let vector r and vector r dash be the position vectors, and v dash be the velocities of the object when it is at p and p dash. You can look in this diagram that when the object is at p, the position vector is r and the velocity vector is v, and this is given as a tangent. Okay, this is given as a tangent to this point. When you draw the tangent, it will be in this direction and it will be in the motion of the object. And when the object reaches from p to p dash, the position vector is r dash and the velocity is in this direction, that is given by v dash. Okay, this is velocity. Now this is the circular motion, and the radius of this we are considering as the capital R. Okay, and the velocity is v. In triangle ABC, by triangle law of vector addition, delta v is equal to v dash minus v, and in triangle PP dash C, r delta r equal to r dash minus r. Now in this triangle ABC, okay, this is velocity v, I have placed here v. Then this is in this direction v dash, I have placed in this direction v dash. Okay, then by using triangle of vector addition, the difference between these will be given by the straight line joining these 2 points, that is this direction. Okay, in this direction, so this delta v will be v dash minus v. Okay, similarly in this triangle CP dash, this is the position vector of p, position vector of p dash, and this will be the displacement from the line joining p to p dash. This line will give you the displacement, and that will be given as the position vector of p dash minus position vector of p. That means r dash minus r will give you delta r. Okay, so this is also by using triangle law of vector addition. Since the path is circular, r perpendicular to v and r dash perpendicular to v dash, therefore delta r is perpendicular to delta v. Now this is in a circle, okay, and I already said that the velocity is given as a tangential to that point. Okay, so we know that in a circle the radius and the tangent are perpendicular to each other. That means this is like a radius and this is like tangent, so this r is perpendicular to v. Similarly, r dash is perpendicular to p dash. Therefore, we can say that this delta v will be perpendicular to delta r. As average acceleration equal to delta v by delta t, average acceleration is along delta v. Therefore, vector A is perpendicular to delta r. Now, you know that acceleration value is, this is average acceleration equal to delta v by delta t. That means A is along delta v. But now we know that delta r is perpendicular to delta v is perpendicular to delta, therefore A indirectly or perpendicular to delta r. So we can say A is perpendicular to delta r. If delta v is placed on the line that bisects angle between r and r dash, delta v is directed towards the center of the circle. Therefore, acceleration is directed towards the center. Now suppose if we place this delta V on the line which is bisecting this delta R. Okay, so you can see this is already placed in such a way that it is perpendicular or bisecting this PP dash. Okay, so you can see this is arrow is towards the inside. So this delta V is towards the center, and since it is towards the center, we can say that A also will be directed towards the center. For delta t tending to 0, average acceleration becomes instantaneous acceleration and is directed towards the center. Now we know that by definition of instantaneous acceleration, if in this average acceleration delta t is taken to be 0, approaching 0, delta t tending to 0, then this will become instantaneous, and this instantaneous acceleration will be also directed towards the center. Since it is directed towards the center, this acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. Okay, so we can see that the acceleration will be towards the center. So now we have found the direction of the acceleration. Now we shall find the magnitude of the acceleration. The magnitude of acceleration. By definition, magnitude of A is equal to limit delta t tend to 0, magnitude of delta V by delta t, Coit equation 1. Let delta theta be the angle between position vectors r and r dash. As r perpendicular to V and r dash perpendicular to V dash implies angle between V and V dash is also delta theta. Now let us take that the angle between the position vector of P and P dash, that is r and r dash, is delta theta. Now we know that r is perpendicular to V and r dash perpendicular to V dash. That means the angle between V and V dash will be same as angle between R and R dash. So angle between R and R dash I am assuming as delta theta. So angle between V and V dash will be also delta theta. And because of this we can say that triangle ABC is similar to triangle CPP dash. And we know if two triangles are similar, then their side ratio is constant. That means we can say that V by R equal to V dash by R dash equal to delta V by delta R. Okay, because they are similar triangle. In a similar triangle, the side ratio is constant. So we can write therefore triangle CPP dash is similar to triangle ABC. This is symbol for similarity. This implies delta V magnitude divided by magnitude of delta R is equal to magnitude of V divided by magnitude of R. Delta R you transfer over here. Okay, and this magnitude of R, this R is your position vector, and this is equal to the radius of the circle. Okay, and radius of the circle you are taking as R. So this magnitude of CP, that is R, can be taken as capital R, the radius of the circle. So I will transfer this delta R here and put this value as capital R. So you get delta V magnitude equal to V by this value is R, and this is velocity, and magnitude of velocity is same. Direction changes but velocity magnitude is same. So this can be written as V, and this I can delta R when I am transferring, you can write delta R. This also is a magnitude. And why I have written this R? Because magnitude of R equal to radius of a circular path, that is R. Now from equation 1 put the value of delta V here. So magnitude of A is equal to limit delta t tend to 0, magnitude of delta V by delta t equal to limit delta t tend to 0. I put delta V value as V by R into delta R. So V by R into delta R, and this delta t as it is. Now V by R you can take out of the limit because it is constant, and limit delta t tend to 0 you can take this as a delta R by delta t. If delta t is small, implies delta theta will also be small. Therefore R TP dash is approximately equal to delta R. Implies V equal to limit delta t tend to 0, magnitude of delta R by delta t. Now suppose you are taking the time interval very small. Okay, the time interval small, that means the P dash which has reached here, it will not reach up to here, it will be somewhere here. Okay, so we say that when the time interval is taken smaller, so this P dash will come smaller. Okay, and then P dash comes smaller, that means this delta theta also will become small. Okay, this will become smaller, and if delta theta becomes smaller, that means you can say that this delta R also will become smaller, and this will be equal to the arc length P dash. Okay, so we can say delta R will be equal to the length of this arc p dash. Okay, so delta r will become this. Why? Because we are taking delta t small becomes makes delta theta small, delta theta becomes small, so delta r becomes small, and this will become approximately equal to p dash. So we have written here v equal to limit delta t tends to 0 magnitude of delta r by delta t. Therefore the centripetal acceleration, okay, I take this equation v by r limit delta t tends to 0 delta r by delta t, and this value we put as v. Okay, and since already I said this acceleration is towards the center, we call it as a centripetal acceleration, and we write symbolically a suffix c. So v by r, and this value I am putting as v here. Okay, so this you get ac equal to v square divided by r, and this is directed towards the center. Call this equation 2. Since it is directed towards the center, it is called the centripetal acceleration. Okay, see here I have drawn in the diagram that is this acceleration is always towards the center at any point. Okay, and it will be towards the center, so direction is changing every time, but the magnitude remains constant. Since v and r are constant, the magnitude of centripetal acceleration is constant, but the direction changes, pointing to always towards the center. Therefore vector centripetal acceleration is not constant. So magnitude is constant because v and r are constant. Okay, but it is changing its direction, always pointing towards the center. Therefore the vector is not constant. As the object moves from p to p dash in time delta t, that is t dash minus t, line cp turns through an angle delta theta called angular distance. So now as the object moves, this object moves from p to p dash. Okay, so when it is moving, this line cp is also moving, right? So when it reaches cp, from here to here it moves to cp dash, it has got some displacement, angular displacement. This angular displacement delta theta, we call it as a angular distance. Okay, that is the definition of angular distance. Now angular speed omega is the time rate of change of angular displacement. So angular displacement or distance we define, now we define angular speed, that is symbol is used omega, and this is equal to time rate of change of angular displacement, that is angular displacement is delta theta divided by the time. So you can omega is equal to delta theta by delta t, call it number 3, and the unit is delta theta is measured in the radian and time in seconds, so radian per second. Okay, so this is called angular speed and this is your angular displacement. If the distance traveled by the object during the time delta t is delta s on the circular path, that is p dash equal to delta s. Now in time delta t, suppose the circular distance which is moved by the object is p dash, we consider as delta s. Okay, the circular motion from here to here on the arc. Okay, this motion if you take, that you call it as a delta s. Then you know that linear velocity v equal to distance by time. So distance delta s divided by the time delta t, call it equation 4. The relation between angle delta theta, radius r and r delta s is, okay, this we have done in chapter 2. The relation between delta theta, radius and the r is given by delta theta equal to delta s by r. R you transfer over here, here remains delta s equal to r delta theta. Now from equation 4, instead of delta s we put this value. So this is called linear velocity, v equal to, I put instead of delta s r delta theta, so r delta theta divided by delta t as it is. But from equation 3, delta theta by delta t is omega. So delta theta by delta t is omega. So v is equal to r into omega. Value of delta theta by delta t equal to omega from equation 3. Okay, so this is a linear acceleration, linear velocity or linear speed r omega. R is the radius and omega is the angular speed. Okay, so this is your linear speed. Therefore centripetal acceleration is in terms of omega. Now we will use this and write the centripetal acceleration in terms of omega, that is in angular speed. So we take equation 2. This equation AC equal to V square by R. Okay, instead of V we'll put R omega. So AC is equal to V square by R. Instead of R you put R omega square by R. So this gives you R square omega square by R. 1 R you cut, so R omega square. That means centripetal acceleration is equal to omega square R. So we have found centripetal acceleration in terms of omega, that is angular speed. So we have found the centripetal acceleration in two terms. One is in this linear speed, and this is in angular speed. Okay, so both the formula you remember, AC equal to V square by R. This is only for the centripetal acceleration, and other one is omega square by R. Sorry, omega square into R. Time period capital T. The time taken by an object to make one revolution is known as its time period capital T. Now this is circular motion, so it will make revolution. So in a one complete revolution, the time taken is called your time period capital T. In one revolution, distance moved by the object equal to circumference of a circle. Now if radius is r, then when you take one complete revolution, then it will have it will cover the distance just like the perimeter of the circle, that is circumference of the circle, and you know circumference of a circular path is 2 pi r. So here s equal to 2 pi r. R is the radius of the circle, and we have taken here radius as a capital R. So you know velocity equal to distance by time. So distance covered in one revolution is 2 pi r, and in one revolution time period is capital T. So 2 pi r by capital T. This is time period, this is the radius, and this is the velocity when it is taking one revolution. Frequency mu. The number of revolution made in 1 second is called is frequency. Now in 1 second how many times it is taking a revolution, the complete revolution, that you call it as a frequency. And relation between frequency and time period is given by mu is equal to 1 by t. So velocity equal to 2 pi r. 1 by t value you can put as mu, so 2 pi r into mu. Now angular speed omega equal to displacement divided by time. Displacement means angular speed, so angular displacement. In one revolution it will take 2 pi radian, right, in one or 360 degree. So in one revolution the angle will be 2 pi and the time period will be equal to capital T. So 2 pi by t, and t can be in terms of mu is 1 by t. So you can write 1 by t as mu, so 2 pi into mu. So centripetal acceleration AC equal to this formula omega square r. So omega value you can put as 2 pi r whole square by 2, sorry, into r. So you can square this, 2 square is 4, pi square divided by r square into r. So this is centripetal acceleration in one revolution. Sorry, not in one revolution but in 1 second. Okay, this because I have written in terms of mu, and mu is nothing but the number of revolution in 1 second. So in time 1 second how many revolution is making. So this is acceleration in a 1 second. Example 4.10. An insect trapped in a circular groove of radius 12 cm moves along the groove steadily and completes 7 revolutions in 100 seconds. Number A. What is the angular speed and the linear speed of the motion? Number B. Is the acceleration vector a constant vector? What is its magnitude? So an insect is trapped in a circular groove. So this circular groove, and if the radius is r, and it is rotating here, revolving here. So it makes in 100 seconds 7 revolutions. Okay, the data is given to us. Radius of a circular groove r is equal to 12 cm. You keep this, or I just convert into meter by multiplying 10 power minus 2. Insect makes 7 revolutions in 100 seconds. Therefore, number of revolution in 1 second equal to mu is equal to 7 by 100. Angular speed omega is equal to 2 pi mu. Okay, this formula I am using, 2 pi mu, angular speed 2 pi mu. So you put the value 2 as it is, pi value is 22 by 7 and mu is 7 by 100. 7 cut, 22 into 2 is 400 divided by 100, and omega is radian per second. Now linear speed v is equal to omega into r. Okay, this formula I am using, v is equal to omega into r, or r into omega. So omega value what you find here, place here 44 by 100 into r is given to you 12 into 10 power minus 2, multiply you get 5.28 into 10 power minus 2 meter per second. Direction of v is tangential to the circle at every point. The acceleration is directed towards the center, and therefore it is changing always. So acceleration is not constant. Okay, they have asked whether acceleration is constant or not. So here acceleration is not constant, and they have asked us to find this magnitude. So magnitude we find using the formula omega square into r. Okay, this one you can use this value also. Okay, because both we have found, you can use any. I am using omega square into r. So omega value we have found here. Put the value 44 by 100 by whole square, and radius is given to 12 into 10 power minus 2. So put the value, 44 square is 1936, and 12 as it is 10 power minus 2. 100 square, 100 into 100. Okay, you simplify, you get 2.23 into 10 power minus 2 meter per second square. That is the centripetal acceleration in magnitude. Direction is always changing. And here we end chapter 4. Thank you very much.